You're listening to Where You Live with Gene and Tony.
I've got you.
Welcome back to Where You Live. We're broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. We're brought to you by American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency, and Extreme Exteriors. You can count on Extreme Exteriors for expert installation of exterior siding, roofing, soffits, fascia, decks, windows, and more. With their knowledge and experience, they can design the perfect solution to make your home beautiful and energy efficient, saving you maintenance and money for years to come. Call them at 763-441-1334 and tell them that we sent you. It's now time to hear from the Community Association Institute. The CAI Minute is brought to you by New Concepts Rental Management. Whether you're an accidental landlord or a seasoned investor, New Concepts Rental Management can help you achieve your financial goals. New Concepts Rental Management can advise and guide you through every aspect of the call. Call us, please, at New Concepts 952-922-2500.
Are you a volunteer in your homeowner association? Maybe a residential property manager wanting to increase your industry knowledge and obtain professional credentials in property management. Are you a vendor or professional offering services to homeowners and associations or property managers? If you said yes to any one of those questions, then join the Community Association Institute. The CAI is a great organization, helping you be informed and more proficient in your homeowner association board member or property manager role. It's also a great way to network with potential clients. For nearly 40 years, CAI has provided education and resources to volunteer homeowners who govern community associations and the professionals who support them. Visit CAI-MN.com to learn more. That's CAI-MN.com. The Minnesota chapter of CAI holds monthly managers' luncheons, board member education training, property manager certification training, and much more. It also produces a bi-monthly informative magazine called Minnesota Community Living. Why not join the Community Association Institute today? You can do so online at CAI-MN.com and select membership.
Now, we're talking about, for those that are just joining us, a major shift with FHA policy that is really going to leave many condominium associations, which are now receiving the benefit of being approved and certified for FHA financing, unable to do so because there has been some language that's been buried in the governing documents in a number of these associations for years and years, and I should also say not without cause. But now because of that, FHA said, if you have this prohibition in your governing documents, we're not going to approve you for recertification for FHA financing. What is so important? What was it that was missed for decades? I mean, we're talking about something that went into effect back in 1994. This was an amendment to the National Housing Act, according to HUD, and I'll be talking about what that was. And so, yet, here we have something that took place, according to HUD and our government back almost 20 years. And just now, FHA is saying, boy, if you have this prohibition, if you have this language in your governing documents, we're not going to recertify you for FHA financing. What is it that they are talking about? What is so important in this restriction? Well, the specific language that we're talking about is a prohibition that would be probably, I would imagine, I'm just guessing here, but I bet you anywhere between 30 to 50% of homeowner associations will probably have this language in their governing documents. So we're talking about no small number, okay? There is a prohibition saying that if you own a unit, a home in an association, in a project, you are prohibited from leasing it for periods of less than 30 days. So if you can rent it at all, now you may have a restriction where there are no rentals, or there may be a specific certain requirement with a percentage that the association has listed that cannot be exceeded with the number of rentals in your community. But barring those restrictions, you cannot generally lease a home for less than 30 days. And now, according to HUD, they're saying that they think that this violates the 1994 amendment to the National Housing Act. And we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. But I'd like to ask the question to our listeners, how is it that renting out your unit, your home in an association for a period of less than 30 days, why would the association have that prohibition to begin with? Have you ever thought about that? What could be the reason? A lot of people think that sometimes that some of these rules are just arbitrary, and that is true. They are when it comes to a homeowners association. But a number of these were probably tried and tested, and there are specific reasons for that happening. One of the things that came to my mind as I thought about this is we're talking now about specifically condominiums, because it's condominiums that have the ability to be recertified to be able to get FHA financing to new owners, new prospective buyers who are interested in purchasing units in those communities. And so what is it that would be so important why you would not want to have leases for less than 30 days in an association? Well, one of the things came to my mind with a condominium and a high-rise. You're talking about elevators, aren't you? Well, anytime you have people moving in and moving out, now you're talking about a special time, a special period where generally those elevators are covered so that they aren't banged up. Anytime you have moving in an association or an apartment building for that matter, the first of the month after something takes place, there is a lot of traffic. People are disturbed because they can't use the elevators. People will find a lot of nicked up walls, and they will find tracking in on carpeting. And so if you stop and think about all of this traffic, a lot of homeowner associations were saying, you know what, we're not really interested in having that kind of turnaround every 30 days or less, because that is just going to put a lot of extra wear and tear on the association. And so for that reason, and for others, they said, you know what, it's probably a good idea. We'll allow rentals, but there's a reason why we don't want to have rentals that are happening every 30 days or less. It makes sense to me. But now we have the government that's coming in and saying, you know what, this is now a slap in the face to the 1994 amendment to the National Housing Act, and this is a major violation. The problem with this issue is that, as I mentioned before, FHA had showed little interest in this 30-day language that's in a number of homeowner association governing documents anyway for years and years. And now it seems like it's just sudden, without warning. This is something that has taken place just over the last 30 days or so. And so if you are a condominium association, enjoy FHA recertification, you're going to be certified for a 2-year period. But if you don't have your ducks in a row, if you don't take a look to see if this wording, this prohibition is in your governing documents, you may find that everything that you had done, which is no different than this last time around for recertification, will not be certified this time because of that language. What are the implications to a homeowner association if they know and feel that it is very important for them to continue to get FHA financing? If you remember on the show a couple weeks ago, we talked about how one department in HUD in the state of Ohio said to an association that decided, well, we're not going to even try for FHA recertification. They said, now because you don't even want to try, that must mean that you are discriminating. So you can't win for losing here. Is that really what we're talking about here? That you're going to have to take care of your governing documents, spend thousands of dollars in re-recording, getting them redrafted, just so that you can keep recertification for FHA? And if not, have the possibility of now being labeled discriminatory? Is that where we are right now? Maybe, could you see, do we possibly have just a few too many regulations? Maybe so. Well, we'll be talking about this more, but we need to take a break, so don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.